Okay, let's move on to interesting questions. More interesting questions.
Okay.
What is your most controversial opinion? You think that people will disagree with you?
Everybody should learn more math.
Okay, I think that's a very interesting point Ken brought up because when I was in first year, Ken was in almost finishing your thesis actually. I was doing pretty well. Not really, but I studied computer science as well in first year. And I remember one of the regrets you told me was not doing enough maths. And I actually took that to heart and began doing maths, began doing university level maths. So not high school level maths. I must say university maths wasn't what I had imagined. But they kind of ripped me apart. However, although on paper I didn't do that well, but I think through studying more maths and more algorithm or theory, that part allowed me to explore perspectives on how you actually think computationally and just a different language that people speak. I think that's very useful. So I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
Okay.
So there must be something else.
Something more controversial? Okay. Let me think. That's a very interesting question. Let me think.
Okay. I'll make it a bit simpler. What do you think of Andrew Tate?
I don't have too much understanding of the Andrew Tate. I haven't listened to a lot of his podcasts or public appearances. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but he's an individual. He's free to say whatever he wants.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good enough. Okay, so one of the things he's kind of known for is his ongoing case for sex and child trafficking that he's still fighting for. In the public, a lot of people will speak against him, and a lot of people will speak for him. Mixed opinions on this person. Some countries have banned him from school. Do you think schools should ever ban someone from being discussed?
There should be lines that are drawn somewhere. It's a matter of where you draw a line. Like if this person says something very controversial, and then like how controversial should you start banning this person? Obviously, if you say things like what Hitler would say, I think it's advisable and reasonable to ban that sort of opinion, because those opinions are not reason based. You are trying to hurt a particular population because of something that's not related to that, because of like something that's really superficial, right? Like religious beliefs and our country origin, stuff like that. And I don't know what's the right place to draw the line. I think that whoever decides to draw that line must have their bias in them. And I think this will be a very, context-dependent decision. If you want your school, let's say if we're talking about schools, whether to ban this person, if you want your school to be more acceptive of other viewpoints, but that you are okay with the risks that involves, then I guess it's okay to not ban it. But obviously you have to deal with what comes as a result, right? Maybe students get more influence, and then they have similar behaviors, and then they have certain beliefs because of the influence. And I think what's tricky is that a lot of students, as they grow up, they haven't formed their own judgment yet. They haven't formed their indivisual, independent thought yet. And in fact, sadly, most people may not be able to form their independent thought, even after they grow up. And so that's bad, because if they can't tell for themselves what is right or wrong and they follow, then having influence that are maybe controversial can lead them to be more extreme than they would have been. I'm not saying that it's good to, it's the power of the school to decide what to ban and what not to ban. But I guess that's a risk that you have to deal with, that people are easily swayed and people can be radical.
So speaking about school, and also having lived in America, it seems like the American political system right now is sort of polarized. Kids are taught very extreme stuff. I say, for example, from the news I see, drag shows are being performed in primary schools.
Drag shows?
As in drag queen. Oh, okay. So kids are educated on the notion of transgender from an early age, and parents are being kept away from this decision-making process. The question, so since you're not very informed with this context, I guess maybe one question I could ask is, should parents be kept in the loop of what kids are learning at school, or like should they be having an influence on how schools should educate the children?
Okay. I don't know too much about parenting. I guess it's pretty distant for me. But there are pros. There are reasons for and against having parents know what they're doing. If your kid is like watching really like violent videos or stuff like that, you would probably want to know, because that may lead to very extreme like personalities. Again, it's like a line where you draw, and I think that there was actually a Black Mirror episode on that, where a parent knows what the kid was doing drugs, and then it got more extreme over time, and then like it didn't end well. What's the message of that story? I don't know, but I think the message is probably that there are good things and bad things that can happen. If you think about how kids that you know, or like the friends you know, grew up, some of them may have really strict parents who try to control everything, and some of them don't have strict parents. I think that you just have people that are just grow up differently, and then all of them together form a very diverse society. And it's not inherently good or bad to have parents watching over you. It's just a different way of raising a child. But if you ask me personally, would I prefer? I guess I would want to know if there are like real red flags. Other than that, I would just let my kid be. Like
red flags from schools.
Yeah, like huge ones, like crime, like illegal stuff. Otherwise, let them be. And because if you start getting into the realm of, doing illegal things, then I think it can get very dangerous very quickly.
Okay.